everyone. Welcome to this edition of TADA Talks. My name is Todd Burgon and I'm the Executive Director of the TADA. Joining me today is John Carmichael from OMVIC, and we're going to be talking about all things OMVIC, both from a legislative perspective and also from a consumer perspective. Well, thanks, John, for joining me today. I appreciate your time and look forward to a good chat here.
Thanks, Todd. It's always a pleasure getting together with you and our colleagues at TADA and to ensuring we're all doing our job and making the auto industry a better place for all of those who work in it and consumers who purchase from it.
That's excellent. So, John, let's start with something that I know you and I have to tackle at the odd time in our roles, and that is explain to those how the actual quote-unquote rule book is created for OMVIC. I mean, I think that the majority would know where it comes from, but some still think that maybe it's John on a Friday night up at the lake that's right in the playbook. Maybe you can set that straight from the very beginning.
Yeah, no, we do not write the playbook on a Friday night. It derives from the Motor Vehicle Dealer Act, which has been around. If you were to look it up, it's the MVDA 2002. Actually came into full effect with changes, updates, and edits in 2010. But for 25 years, OMVIC has been operating under the Motor Vehicle Dealers Act, under the oversight of the Ministry of Government and Consumer Services, and specifically the Minister of Government and Consumer Services, or MGCS. So we don't so much make the rules as interpret the legislation, take the legislation and the regulations and apply them to our business. So that, for example, to sell or lease a vehicle in Ontario, the simple rule is you have to be registered with OMVIC as a sales representative or as a dealer. And anybody who isn't, who is doing business with consumers outside of that, is doing so illegally. So our job is to manage and take the MVDA and apply it to every part of our world. And so, as you know, Todd, the challenge to a Friday night rule book is one that we've heard often, but clearly it's well structured, it's well informed, and we have a team of people at OMVIC who work hard to ensure that, one, we're meeting the demands of consumer protection in the province. And if you think about that, in a big province like Ontario, we in fact are a consumer protection agency, but our second pillar is to ensure that we are enhancing dealer professionalism by providing oversight and certification and information that helps salespeople and dealers do what they're there to do and provide an assist and support to them.
Okay, that's excellent. So, I mean, let's get into a bit more of the detail about what OMVIC does in relation to its dealers, because obviously, you know, they know that you're in a quote unquote oversight, but maybe get into some of the specifics.
Well, first off, you have to register with us, and we have a registration department that receives all of the registration information of a sales representative or of a dealer. And their job is to process that information with as much depth and knowledge as we possibly can to ensure that the dealers and salespeople who are coming into this industry, in fact, are reputable and are going to deliver a positive experience for consumers. Beyond that, we obviously inspect dealerships. We have a group of inspectors who are in the field who knock on the doors of our dealer registrants on a regular basis. I like to refer to our inspectors as our ambassadors. They go into dealerships to make sure that books and records are in place, that the dealer is doing what they're there to do every day and doing it according to the Motor Vehicle Dealer Act.
Excellent. I mean, and one of the things that we're quite happy, as you know, as an association, when you talk about the Motor Vehicle Dealer Act, is that it is getting a current review with input from stakeholders, which I think is great. So it can be maybe more in tune with our current technology needs, as I like to say, when it was first written. So stay tuned on that as that evolves, and I think that'll help make both of our lives a little bit easier once some of those tweaks are made.
Yeah, and and that's a very good point, Todd, that the government, the Ministry of Government and Consumer Services has actually gone to stakeholders to consult and to pull information from you and the other stakeholder agencies that are a part of this industry to see if we can improve the Act, areas that is deficient that need to be addressed. But the important element is that you are an association of your members, and you do that work as a leader in that association. We aren't an association. We have input into the Act as well, but under the ministry, we're here to regulate it. So when you do your consultation and submit that to government, as others do, and the government is always willing to receive that information, we then take what's provided to us by the ministry under the Act and the regulations and try to do our job a little bit better and make sure that we are providing the type of service the ministry expects when we go and visit our dealers through inspection or otherwise.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to that process. We've, as you know, we've submitted over the past 12 months with input from our members, and hopefully it will make the process easier for everyone, including the consumers. So that's good news. Let's talk a little bit about all-in price advertising. I remember a number of years ago when this changed and what the industry had to deal with in terms of education and execution. So elaborate on where we're at with all-in pricing and what you see in the seat that you sit in right now.
Well, this is obviously one of my favorite topics, Todd. All-in pricing came into effect as legislation. It became the law in 2010. It's been around for 12 years. And all-in pricing means simply if you're going to advertise a vehicle, all the options, the extras, if you're putting anything into the vehicle through your business office or otherwise, have to be in the price of the vehicle that's being advertised. The only extras are license and HST. And if anybody is advertising a vehicle, adding those products on after the fact, that's contravening the legislation. And so all-in price advertising today is something that we spend tremendous amount of effort on, particularly because when we do mystery shopping, as an example, we will see anywhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 60% of dealers we visit in non-compliance, that they're advertising vehicles, showing all of the options that are in that vehicle particularly, but then adding things like an administration fee or some other type of a package that is above and beyond and comes is not allowable under that legislation. So we work hard at trying to find ways to encourage dealers to stay to the rules. HST and license, the only additions when you're advertising a vehicle. And we have a dealer support team, which we've established in the past year and a half. And it's through our dealer support team that we can provide unlimited access to advice and assistance to dealers if they're advertising and really aren't sure if they're in compliance or not. And so our folks in dealer support will spend time on the phone or by email with a dealer, ensuring that their advertisement is compliant and meets the required regulations. And we're seeing a lot of access, a lot of dealers taking the opportunity to access our dealer support specialists and talk about issues in how to comply within those regulations.
Well, I think that's good because it takes out any of the question marks at that point, if they can basically run their advertising by you guys in advance if they have any concerns, right? Rather than it becoming the opposite. So I think that's a great addition to your services.
We think it's important, because clearly with so much non-compliance in the industry, we feel it's incumbent on us to provide the service, the level of service that can assist those dealers who really aren't sure and who want to play by the rules, and that's what we're here for. We're here to assist, and I think it's been a tremendous addition to our list of services that we provide to provide that information to dealers.
So that's a good point. And on to my next topic, services that people may not know that you provide. So if you could name a few of them that you think are services that maybe fly maybe either a little bit below the radar screen or maybe don't get the same attention, then why don't we talk a little bit about them now?
Well, certainly all-in pricing is one of the biggies, but if a sales representative is changing dealerships, he's leaving one dealer to move to another dealer, we have facilities to assist them in making that transfer. Similarly, if a dealer is moving their business, our people in registration are there to help provide the information that will assist you in moving your dealership or upgrading, providing a new address or building a new building, etc. Whatever, we're there to provide whatever support we can to ensure that your information is current, and we're there to assist on that in that regard. I think when we talk about all-in pricing, so that type of information comes through our communications team. We provide bulletins on current issues, and when we come across an issue that we think is important for dealers to understand, we'll put a bulletin out into our dealer registrants, and they will then have something to assist with. Another area that we assist through communications is we provide materials for sales meetings. We have videos and webinars where we can provide a dealer with information to assist them in ensuring that their sales representatives are compliant in how they put a transaction together, in meeting all of the objectives of the Act, and it's complex. The Act is a very complex document, and so we've tried to simplify it with fun, informative webinars, videos, and we do the same for consumers in buying a car, how to simplify the process and provide them with information that makes buying a car something you don't have to be nervous about or concerned about. You go in fully informed, and let's for simplicity's sake, an informed consumer is a better consumer to be selling a vehicle to, because they know what they're looking for. And we all know that consumers can come in with a myriad of questions about the process, and we think in providing that information to them that we're helping them to be better prepared when they go into a dealership to purchase or lease a vehicle.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point there, John, too, is that, if you're a consumer and it's, say, your first time in our industry purchasing a product, the amount of paperwork that's handed over that desk to that individual because of compliance is incredible. When you think about buying a house, it's the complete opposite. It's an 8-page document where you sign in 5 spots and, bam, you own $1 million home. So I think that type of information that you guys are providing and addressing for the consumer maybe often goes overlooked because there is significant amount of paperwork that goes to them, and maybe in some cases they're wondering if it's all necessary. So this would certainly help in building that trust.
Well, and I think you're absolutely right, Todd, and because it is about trust. You won't talk to a dealer today who doesn't want to build a long-term relationship with a consumer.
Right.
And so they might buy that first car, but you want them coming back for the second car as well. And they have lots of choices. Consumers can purchase from any number of 8,100 dealers that are registered with us. And if a dealer is investing heavily in their facilities, their inventory, their training of people, they want that consumer coming back to do business with them on the long term. And all we try to do is provide information that helps them inform their people how to do a better job at what they're doing. And keeping in mind that, we provide information that meets regulatory compliance, and it's all part and parcel. It's like having that OMVIC sign behind your desk or on your desk as a sales representative, it helps to identify you as a fully registered, legally operating individual in this business. And that's an important element of informing consumers that you're certified in automotive law and ethics. And finishing the certification program, which we offer, as you know, is another major service that we think is vital to teaching a sales representative, for example, how to deal with disclosures, how to deal with information that is required under the Act.
That's good. And you're making my job easy today, because you already touched on where I was going to ask you as the last question, is the importance of displaying that blue and yellow logo both on the door and within the office. So I appreciate you answering that in advance. That's awesome.
Well, you know, I go to lots of dealerships. I do dealer visits to talk to dealers and tour dealerships, because you know, this industry is one it's in your blood. It's one you just can't help but really get energized about. And so when I walk into a dealership that doesn't have the sticker on the door, I'll deliver 2 or 3 stickers and encourage them. Todd, you know, you've spent a lot of money on your dealership. You spend a lot of money in training and developing your people. Put the OMVIC logo up. We think it serves a purpose. So, and we hear people say, gosh, you know, yeah, it should be up. Why isn't it up? So they'll put it up before we go, but
excellent.
Interesting.
Well, I always end these by asking a personal question, so I won't make it too difficult, but we're in the car business. You've been in this industry for a long time. Some people may not know that you started off in the car business. And
right.
So what was the first car you purchased for yourself? Do you remember the make and model and the year?
Yeah, I do actually. It was a Pontiac Ventura. And I want to guess it was 1971, 70, maybe a little bit later. You know, in the industry, you were able to drive demonstrator vehicles early on, and but at some point I had to buy my own car, and I did that, and it worked well and got me around, and kept me safe.
I bet you it was a little bit cheaper than what the current vehicle would be today, right?
You know, the first, I remember selling a vehicle in 1971. It was a Ford Torino, and I think the price on that car was $3,100, and that was, you know, a relatively expensive fleet vehicle. So
wow.
Go figure.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, listen, John, I really appreciate your time today. I enjoyed chatting with you. I'm going to let you off the hook. And just say thank you very much for your time. Thanks for spending some time on helping educate people on the process and what it is you guys do. And I wanted just to say I wish you a happy retirement and a well-deserved retirement. And thank you for being an ambassador of our industry.
Thanks, Todd, and thank you for all the great work that TADA does. It's important. Never lose sight of the fact that your work contributes to the benefit of the overall industry. So thank you for all you do as well, and to all of your folks.
Thanks again, John.
Keep well.